The Auction Pig Calculator is a tool that allows buyers to make informed decisions regarding price. To better explain how the tool works, let's look at a practical example. Before we begin, we need to enter into the settings and set the software parameters that will be used during calculations. The software has a default setting for yield, but if you have more accurate data for your stock, then you can enter the yields in this screen. We are also able to define a slaughter cost that is paid when having the animal slaughter. For this demo, we will be using the slaughter by kilogram setting, as this is the most common method of charging. We will set the cost to 2 Rand per kilogram, but your costs may differ. If we want to look further in the chain, we can set this rate to 5 Rand per kilogram, as 3 Rand per kilogram will be allotted to cutting and packing of the meat as well. Now that we have set the software up, we will begin performing calculations. To start, we will enter a weight of 70 kilograms and a start price of 700 Rand. As we do this, the software will automatically calculate the live rate and the slaughter rate. As you can see, the live rate is 10 Rand per kilogram, and the slaughter rate at this value is 19 Rand 20 cents. This means that the price we are looking at is 700 Rand. Since we have set our slaughter cost to 5 Rand per kilogram, the slaughter rate is telling us that to earn the same return by slaughtering the pig and then cutting it up, we would need to sell the processed meat for 19 Rand and 20 cents to arrive at the same value of 700 on the pig. This is because 2 Rand will be paid for every kilogram to the abattoir, and a further 3 Rand to cut the meat up. Looking further at these numbers, we can compare the live rate with our calculated cost of producing 1 kilogram on the live weight of the pig. We can also know that the slaughter price per kilogram is also the cost price of the processed meat the buyer is wanting to achieve. This means that after the pig is slaughtered and cut up into individual cuts, then the cost per kilogram on the meat is 19 Rand and 20 cents. If we look further down the chain of supply at the sales price per kilogram, we can then identify the distribution of wealth in the supply chain. In this example, we will assume that the meat is sold at 34 Rand per kilogram, which is a conservative value, because certain cuts will fetch a higher price. If this is the case, then to calculate the profit margin of the buyer, we simply take the 34 Rand per kilogram, and we subtract the cost price of 19 and 20 cents, fetching a profit of about 14 Rand per kilogram. On a porker that weighs 70 kilograms, we will get a carcass of 50 kilogram, giving a profit of about 750 Rand on the total pig. This obviously isn't a good scenario, so we can now adjust numbers and observe the impact of the calculations. If we were to now increase the cost per kilogram slaughtered, we will be increasing the cost price of a kilogram of meat to the buyer. We will slide our fingers over the spinners and adjust the cost price to 30 Rand per kilogram, which would mean the buyer will now be looking at earning 4 Rand per kilogram. This now means he will be making 200 Rand on the total pig. When we do this, the software now recalculated the cost per kilogram live, which is now 17 Rand per kilogram. A much better scenario to the farmer than the 10 Rand per kilogram we started with. The software has also changed the price field for this transactions to be 1225 Rand on the pig, compared to the 700 Rand we started with. This may not be accepted by the buyer, but by adjusting either the live rate per kilogram or the slaughter rate in the spinners, then we can get an instant picture of the entire supply chain, as well as our position in it. If we are happy with a transaction, we can add it to the table by clicking the green button to add it to the table, and the software will track the total numbers of pigs bought and their value. If we no longer want an entry in the table, then we can delete the entry by clicking on the line and then answering yes when asked to confirm it. This concludes the demonstration of using the calculator tool.